Hello, thank you for joining me for a little bit of Wednesday words. And the words that I'm using today are a quote from Mark Twain. He said, "Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect." Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. And those words actually made me pause and reflect. And it made me think of fashion. And I've never been a dedicated follower of fashion, to quote a song title. When I was younger, I was lucky that a friend of my mother's was a wonderful seamstress. And in my teenage years, I just had to give her a photograph, a picture of a dress, and she could make it. So I could have had dresses that were going fully with the fashion trends, but I would use bits of one and bits of another and combine them and go for something that was different. So I guess I didn't go with the majority then. I certainly don't now. I wouldn't choose to, and I couldn't afford to anyway. But when it comes to matters more serious, more important than fashion, do a lot of us go along? Are we swept along with the majority? Do we become a yes person so that our face fits, maybe? That we feel we're one of the gang, one of the tribe, one of the group? It takes a lot of courage to actually stand out against a group, especially if they're a very vociferous group. It takes courage to stand up and say, "I don't agree with that." But then, that's the vociferous majority. What about the silent majority? And I think far too many of us, and I include myself in this, find it all too easy to drift along with the silent majority. Even when we can see that something isn't right, something needs changing, but we sort of sit on our hands, keep our mouths closed, and hope that somebody other than us will stand up and say, "This isn't right, this shouldn't be happening." I know I've stood up for others in the past, and I've laid my professional head on the line for children who I felt were not being catered for in their schools. Children who I felt were being abused, yet the child protection officer was choosing not to do anything about it. And the staff had gone along with this person. And I came in and I said, "I can't do this. This child, I am sure, is being abused. And if nothing is done, then I will personally take responsibility for doing something." Which I did. And it turned out that the child was being very badly, emotionally, physically abused. So it took a lot of effort, a lot of courage of my convictions, but then I carried that on through into the work as a counsellor with survivors of all forms of abuse. And I stood up against other professionals when they decried the charities to whom they had referred patients. Charity who had picked up the pieces of these people when these highly paid professionals said that they couldn't do anything for them. They hadn't got the skills. They were very much the majority. There were more of them. They had lots more letters after their names. they had very prestigious offices. But standing up against such people when they are in the majority isn't easy. But it's something we have to think about. If it's something we think strongly about, then we have to make our voice heard. We have to think, am I just being dragged along quietly or boisterously? Do I need to step aside and make my voice, my opinion count, make it be heard? On that note, I shall love you and leave you, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.